Welcome to the Heal Your Hunger Show, where we get to the heart of why you overeat and how to stop. If you struggle with food and weight like I did, welcome home. Welcome, everybody, to the Heal Your Hunger Show. So happy to have you here. It is a great day to be alive, and I've got a really short and sweet message for you today. I hope it's sweet. It might be a little bit on the downer side because I'm talking about aging, but hey, it's real life. I'm talking about real life. If you're here at the Heal Your Hunger Show for the first time, that's what I do here. I talk about things that are real and real to us, especially as emotional eaters. You know, as emotional eaters, we're deep feelers. We feel more than your average person. We feel deeper than your average person. And so it's really important that we drop down into our hearts and talk about real things, because that is more supportive than talking about superficial things like weight loss hacks and that kind of thing. I mean, there's lots of podcasts for that. I prefer to go where most people don't go, and that's into our emotional selves and how to manage our emotions so that we can be more effective living life without the painkiller, the anesthetic of food. So you're ready? You ready for that ride? Okay, great. You're here not by mistake, but by divine appointment. So if you want to stick around, you're our people. Yay. And I just want to say, if you haven't taken the quiz yet on the website, definitely get your personalized score by taking the emotional eating quiz at healyourhunger.com. Take that quiz, get your personalized score, and then you'll know next steps from there. And also, be sure to join us in the Secret Sauce group. It's a group on Facebook. It's the Secret Sauce to End Emotional Eating. It's a great first step for you as well. Okay, on with the show. I'm in the Netherlands. It's my last day here. I've been in Europe for 3.5 weeks, the Netherlands for just a little under a week, because my guy's from here, and we came here to visit his family after my Spanish adventure, which you can hear about in some previous podcasts. But I wanted to drop in because, as I said, as emotional eaters, we're deep feelers, and life lands differently for us. Life lands differently for us, and that's why it's really important that we talk about real things, because typically real things, hard things, give us problems. You know, we eat over troubling emotions, troubling events, things that come from left field, surprises, hard things like death and moving and changing jobs, and kids who decide they don't want to talk to their parents because they're pissed off, or kids that are dysregulated, and parents that are aging, right? I'm 56, I'm almost 57, and I'm in a new chapter of my life. In 2024, my former husband, Roy Nelson, died in January. My godmother, my love of my life godmother, fell in February on Valentine's Day and ended up in the hospital with a bleeding brain and almost didn't make it. And it was a long recovery, couple months recovery. And I flew back east several times to see her and try to help out. My mother has some memory issues, so that's an ongoing thing that my sisters and I and my stepdad are dealing with. She's in pretty good shape considering, but, you know, it's happening. She's in her late 80s, and the memory loss is happening. So there's discussions around, you know, next steps for them in their lives, my stepdad and mom. Then I come to the Netherlands, and we've spent the past 6 days or so, 5 days visiting the hospital because my partner's dad has been sick. So we've been helping his mom out, taking her to the hospital, spending time with her husband, my partner's dad. And they're old. They're in their 90s now. Both of his parents, they're turning 91. So they've got health issues and decline. And so that's a thing. And this is all before, you know, the first half of the year is up. And so this has been what my year's been about, besides other wonderful things like learning Spanish and serving my clients and having some amazing events and yada, yada. But I wanted to drop in and talk about this aging thing because it's not for sissies. And if you're somebody who is taking care of somebody who's aging, or you're aging yourself, you know this, right? You know this, and I have to say I didn't really connect with it like I'm connecting with it now because I'm personally experiencing it. I'm experiencing people having struggles. I'm experiencing fitting this into my life, trips to care for people who are aging. Many who are listening may be actually caretaking right now. As you listen, you are a caretaker. You may have an elderly person living in your home, a parent, let's say, or a spouse. It's not easy. And what's not easy is that as emotional eaters, we tend to lean on food to get through hard things. And so my message today is about living life on life's terms and not using food to get through them. And I believe the more we accept reality for what it is, the easier it is to find new ways to cope. But in the past, food was it, right? I've spent hours and hours the past 5 days in the hospital, where there's opportunities to eat at the, snack place or whatever, and there's opportunities to snack. And fortunately, I have a partner who just doesn't do that. He's not a snacker. That's been great for me because I'm a 3-meal magic girl, and he's pretty on board with that as well. But the point is, in the past, sitting in the hospital for hours on end, or having a former spouse die and dealing with the aftermath of that, or having a mom who's declining in her memory, these things are big deals. They're big deals, and typically, as emotional eaters, we eat over any kind of deals, but especially big deals, things that throw us off our game, things that cause us to feel strong emotions. And I just want to say that, oftentimes we eat to keep reality at bay, to not feel the full intensity of our emotions, and to face the full reality of our life. And I used to eat to mitigate the reality, to make it not so bad. Life seems so stark when there were tough things happening that I ate to soften the edges of life. I ate so I didn't feel as much, and so it didn't feel as bad. Food was my comfort. Food is what dulled the edges. Food is what numbed me, so reality didn't seem so hard. And I'm just here to say that reality is hard. At times it's hard. But it's my belief that eating over the things that are hard makes reality even harder, right? Because then we have the guilt and shame and remorse from binging. We feel like crap from eating unhealthy foods, processed, sugary, carby, just crappy foods. We lose energy over that. We don't feel as sharp in our minds. We feel sluggish and tired and unhealthy, inflamed. Our bodies are inflamed and bloated. So the reality we create from escaping the reality that is much worse. Much worse. So if you have a situation in your life that's hard, if you have a reality that's really hard, and I have to say, dealing with aging people is hard. It's sad and it's emotionally draining. My partner is not a very emotional person. He's pretty steady and even, and he takes life as it comes. He lives in reality pretty well, more or less. He's got his moments where he just doesn't want to deal, but the truth is that even somebody who's emotionally, pretty stable and grounded feels the intensity of parents who are aging, a father who is sick, a mother who is afraid about losing her spouse. These are emotional times. These are emotionally draining circumstances. And as emotional eaters, we feel it even more. I believe that we feel just a little bit more than your average person. The feelings are stronger, they're more intense, and they're harder to navigate, especially when we don't have practice navigating real life. When we're used to numbing out and changing our reality through food. 3-meal magic has been an absolute lifesaver for me on this trip. I talked about it during my Spanish episodes, my Spanish adventure podcast episodes. And it's true through what I'm going through now, trying to be supportive to my partner who is being supportive to his parents. It's emotionally draining, long hours in the hospital, back and forth, getting in the car, getting out of the car, just dealing with these things. It's emotionally draining, and it would be a good opportunity to lean on food. But I want to feel all of it. I want to be in reality today, because the consequences of checking out with food, softening the edges with food, is too hard for me. I would rather feel the tough feelings of, family members who are sick than to feel the hard feelings of hating my food choices, feeling bad in my body, not fitting into my pants. If you don't know my story, I was 50 pounds overweight. I did plenty of that. And it cost me too much. It robbed me of my happiness. I'm a pretty happy person these days, and I want to stay that way. And so making healthy food choices is uber important to me. So I choose reality. I choose the painful experiences that are in my reality right now. I choose to face them. There's a great saying from my former spouse and mentor, which is face, embrace, erase. We can't overcome hard feelings unless we're willing to face them and embrace them as part of reality. When we eat, we're basically trying to change our reality. We're playing God, essentially. Let me eat and pretend it's not that bad. Pretend it doesn't hurt. And honestly, it's a pretty immature way to live, to think that we can change reality so it doesn't hurt so much. We need to grow up, and we need to embrace reality and embrace our feelings with support. Don't do it alone. Don't do it alone. I'm talking to people I care about. I'm staying in contact. Even when I'm in Europe, I talk, my partner and I talk quite a lot. I don't do it alone. I write about it. I talk about it. I pray about it. Writing is so helpful for offloading the pain of our reality when our reality is painful. But this is the new way. The old way is to eat through it, numb out, check out, drown out the feelings. The new way is to move through it using new tools, move through painful experiences using new tools. And I understand that dealing with parents, which many of you are, aging parents, dealing with aging parents is not easy. I understand that it can be incredibly trying. And all the more reason why you need support, and much better support than what food can give you. So this is it. I'm moving through it. I'm sticking to 3-meal magic so I can feel in between my meals. Really important for me to feel, deal, and heal. And I want to encourage you to embrace reality, get support so it doesn't feel too hard. But moving through it is so much better than trying to escape it with food. Winston Churchill said, if you're going through hell, keep going. And I want to encourage you to reach out for support. Get a support system. Reach out to Heal Your Hunger if you want support with overcoming emotional eating and facing life on life's terms. But wherever you get your support, really important to not go through hard things alone. Together we can do hard things. But it's so much better to go through it and to get to the other side than to be in perpetual angst because of our eating behaviors that hurt us on an emotional, physical, and spiritual level. So I'm moving through it. This is probably not the last you'll hear about it. I love you so much. I'm so grateful for life on life's terms. I love being alive. I love being able to feel. I'll take feeling hard things over being checked out any day of the week. Because it passes. This kind of pain passes. And I want to encourage you to do the same. I love you so much. I'll catch you on the next show. If you're ready to get off the dieting roller coaster ride and finally make peace with food and with your body, talk to a Heal Your Hunger mentor about what steps you need to take based on your own history with food and weight. Go to healyourhunger.com and register for an emotional eating breakthrough session and see how fast you can experience real change. It's a complimentary evaluation, but there are limited spots available. So go to healyourhunger.com and register to speak with a mentor today.